as we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday, 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on head and it's free for the play. Tap in right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every A. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. Know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
Hello, welcome to the Casual Convo Show, where we have conversations about topics that affect the communities, personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. And I just got completely tongue-tied on that last part, but y'all know what I meant. I'm your host, Coco, and joining me, we have the mayor of Asheville, in my words, Mr. More Than You Can See, the King, Sir Paul.
Good evening, everybody.
And then we also have, I call him my problem child, Semantic Antics, Iconoclast, aka and more.
What's up, good people of the internet and worldwide, the World Wide Web? How are ya?
You get on every nerve I have. So before anybody asks, we're gonna just say shout out to Judith out being a Pisces, so she's not gonna be with us today, but she'll be back next week. So shout out to Jude. I don't say this all the time, so y'all better enjoy this. Shout out to the Pisces. We're gonna let our girl do her thing because she's celebrating it big for Pisces season.
Right.
So shout out to Jude. So I guess we can get right into the mental health check-in. I guess I'll go first. Mental health check-in. I'm gonna say over the last couple of days, good. I ain't gonna say great because I know I've been in a funk. Surprised I haven't really like talked about it and kind of just went through my little process or whatever. But I'm gonna say better. But I will also say when people are having a moment or they having, some people might say in their head, just not even not even just having a moment where you just want to be I self isolate when I go through stuff or when I'm mentally drained or when I'm challenged, and a lot of people don't understand that. So I think for me to shut down is easier because I know I get annoyed by certain questions, and I hate when people always want you to show up the fun, boisterous, person. And sometimes I can't get that. So in that I do self isolation. But lately I've been getting on everybody's nerves, so I think I'm bouncing back, feeling more like myself. And I think that's where I'm at for us like this week. What about you guys?
Well, myself, I'm a little bit apprehensive because I got to have this doggone procedure in the morning. I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go have a 10 to 30-minute procedure done. So, dang, for one thing, can't y'all wait until later in the day when y'all good and woke? Well, I got to be the first person y'all see early in the morning with sleep still in your eyes and ain't probably even had your cup of coffee yet. You want to be messing around with my prostate at that hour. So I'm a little apprehensive, even though they say it's not much. Otherwise, I'm doing pretty good. I'm sore. I'm telling you, boy. I'm going to tell you folks, guys, get your prostates checked. Get them checked. I know we don't like having people messing around our backside, but we need to keep them prostates straight because we can get cancer and it'll silently kill us without us knowing it. That's it. What happened to Custer?
Q having technical difficulties. We are under a whole tornado watch. Well, we're all in different places. I know here in Baltimore we're having a tornado watch, so you may see us freeze or whatever. We're just gonna keep it going with whoever freeze, the next person gonna go. So Q's having a moment right now. So I will say, I hope this is okay for me to say publicly. Hello, Daytrick. And also, I want everybody to keep Daytrick, I'm going to say family in prayer. I know he just lost someone close to him. So, as a supporter, we always want to support you in any way we can, even though we're not close to you, but you're in our prayers. Um, Also, Blaze, what's going on? That's the first time I think he caught a live. He said, "Love to see what y'all doing." Thank you. All right. So while Q is out, you want to just start?
Who want to start? I
Want to
mean,
just go right into because we got a lot to talk about. So
I just
tonight's
done my mental.
you
I
start.
just done my mental.
No, I mean you want to just start like the show,
Oh,
so we
oh
can go
yeah,
into.
yeah,
We
yeah.
want to discuss like what's going on in the world, like current events, especially we missed a week with you guys. So the U.S. versus Iran and all of this stuff. So before I give my thoughts, I'm gonna let you go, Paul. What are your thoughts on this whole us versus well the US versus Iran?
Oh, yeah, excuse me, my nose is running. I think my allergies acting up. So I'm telling you, I'm just compiled with issues right now. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. This is what this man want to do. This man, every step of the way, he done lied about everything he ever said, as far as his promises, campaign promises to his MAGA folks. Everything has been a lie. Everything about this man is a lie. And so now, when he first said, well, we're going to go here to Iran and what he say, free them people from the, mm, and okay, I mean, what is them? How are they ruled by the president? What they call it, supreme leader, whatever. We're going to go here and free them from that oppression. And then he jumped around and saying, well, they was getting ready to launch nuclear weapons at us. And then it was something else, whatever, whatnot. But dang, like I said, you told people, what, 5 or 6 months ago that y'all had destroyed their nuclear capabilities of producing nuclear weapons. So that was a lie. Then you've been lying about how many people over there getting injured, hurt, whatever. That was a lie because there's 140 some people that's been injured. Not to mention the 7 that's been killed. Might be more than that now. And then the bigger lie is, well, I don't know if you can call it a lie, but just the act that you withholding stuff from people, information from people over here. Like they're talking about California will be targeted. For what? Sleeper cells? For missiles? For what? What are they going to be targeted for? I'm telling you, I don't. This guy is trying to figure every way he can not to get prosecuted for the Epstein thing. See, they ain't paying attention to them people over there digging around at that Epstein place over at that ranch. People not paying attention to that because they too busy concentrating on this war stuff. But they are in the process over there trying to dig around and find stuff over there, which I hope they do. But yeah, I mean, this war is just a way for him to increase his wealth because y'all know war is money. Increase his wealth, hurt the taxpayers as usual, and people still lapping it up. They don't care. As long as he's doing something to hurt everybody else, they don't fine. They don't even think they being hurt. But I'm just saying, people better stay alert because I believe there's a whole lot of Iranian people over here, and then you got people that's been flipped. So we in a war that we didn't ask for. We're in a war that we can't see. We don't know the enemy. We think we know the enemies. But when you see these little young people that's been over here in America forever, whatever, I call like the people around here transplants. You see these transplants around. You don't know which one might be a sleeper cell, whatever. You don't know what they might have on their mind, whatever. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy. They need to get him out of there. I wish they would kidnap him, take him to the Hague. War is
Well,
not for us.
no, and I will say this: I think it's one, of course, smoke and mirrors. It's really funny. We go to war immediately when Epstein files is going on, and then I spoke to. I don't even want to say who it is, but I talked to somebody before, and they gave me another way to look at this. So, do you remember a while ago? I don't know how public it was, or if anybody paid attention to it. It was like a long time ago. Probably during his last time, there was like a bounty on him from like another country over. I think it was Iran. they wanted to assassinate him. They had like a bounty on his head. So that bounty never was lifted. And I think the one who they just executed was the person who put that in place. So when I discussed it with a particular person, I was like, that makes it makes some sense about why it was like so and like in your face, and he knew what he was doing. I think that's one part of it. Then two, oil, money, all of that stuff, but mainly oil. And then but then they did one up and they put his son in there. So regardless of what, that's not lifted. And I think that's probably why he getting nervous now. Because I forgot all about that whole thing. Then second, what I'm perturbed about is how is it that today they're just announcing that California is a target. Can you meet yourself, J Bad, real quick, and then I introduce you? They have a
My apologies. My internet went out.
okay. Hold on. So I'm baffled because one, when I read the article about California being a target for Iran for like missile launch and drones and like that too, why are we just finding out today when that whole information our government knew about that back in early February, late January? So you want to announce it today? Y'all been blocking missiles. Y'all put out that y'all shot down missiles that were coming over to America, but oh, before we get into the other part, what are your thoughts on the war? So I'm gonna stop right there, and then I'm gonna keep going because I'm a yeah.
Easy. United States, this whole war business, one is about to reestablish the world order that they've already had for decades. And they want to police the world like they've been doing, policing the world. The countries are sick of it. They're sick of being policed by the United States. They're sick of the United States getting involved in their affairs. They're sick of the United States jumping into other countries' business and establishing puppet governments. It's just one big mess, right? With the whole thing about California and all of that. No, you're not frozen, Coco. I can see you. I just can't hear you.
That wasn't for you to answer. Keep going.
But no, it's what this is. See, this is an unauthorized war.
Mhm.
We know this. It's unauthorized because Congress didn't call for it. This man has trounced. This man, this guy that's in office. I won't even pronounce his name because he makes me sick to my stomach. He has trounced the Constitution to the point where it's just a piece of paper with wording on it. It doesn't mean anything. With this being said, he was like, well, I'm not going to start any wars. I'm not going to start, I'm going to try to end wars. Okay, how can you end a war if no war has been started? Make that make sense. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense to me. If I'm going to end something, I have to have started it first, correct? So tells me that this guy he's using this war business, number one, obviously to distract everybody from the Epstein files, but it's not going away. Number two, any president that is in a any sitting president, if I read it correctly, cannot be removed in acts of war when the country is at war. If I read that passage correctly, I got to go back and reread it.
That's true.
Yeah, he wants to be he wants to get credit for establishing peace. That's like saying, hey, I fixed the window, but I had to break it in order for me to fix it when there was nothing wrong with the window in the first place. that's the problem uh, with and Israel. It pimped him out. Israel has basically pimped him, telling him, "Hey, they got weapons of mass destruction over here. They're gonna attack us. We need your help." So what's going to happen is you're crying wolf one too many times. Eventually, the real wolf shows up, and then nobody's going to help. Other countries are trying to get involved. Yeah, it's about time countries leave the United States alone. Just leave them on to their own devices, because we see what's going on here. Him, Benjamin Netanyahu, a couple of more of those leaders over there that's warmongers. What they're trying to do is establish their own rule book, their own playbook, whatever, so that they can dominate the globe, global domination. And this time it's not going to work, because Iran has been blowing stuff up in Tel Aviv. Don't believe everything you read in the media or what you see on that TV. I tell people, stop watching Fox News, stop watching ABC, stop watching CBS, CNN, all these news outlets. Go on YouTube. Go to this site called the Midas Touch. It's MEIDAS, the Midas Touch. They tell you what's actually going on. They tell you about what Trump is actually going through, because he tweets at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning while everybody's asleep. And he'll say a lot of slick things and think that, nobody's paying attention. No, they're paying attention, and they're telling you what he said and what it actually means. Because Trump is actually panicking at this point, because Iran is not going to go down without a fight.
No, he panicking because that what you call him ain't lifted off of his dome. That's why they keep trying to get him. Then two, I'm gonna do you one better. I agree and I disagree about the YouTube. Just hear me out. When it comes to me personally, I think the best ones is like Paul know what I'm about to say. The BBC News Network. And if you watch the different news, I don't know if people have access to that, but when you watch world news and you get the perspective of the other country, because now you see their POV versus our POV, and a lot of these other countries, they're more raw with their news than we are. We do smoke and mirrors and we do edits. The only thing with YouTube sometimes is snippets, and and some important pieces are made. So it kind of goes to complete your theory or to prove your theory of what you think. So I will go a step ahead of that. And just watch like world news, not just your local one, but worlds like other people, even like BBC News. Me, I love Asian news. Y'all know Asian news. I love it. Y'all don't be understanding nothing that they saying, but they don't stop rolling no matter what's going on.
Right. Right.
No matter they could
Yeah.
fussing. You gonna get the raw deal with whatever's going on.
Yeah, I watch Al Jazeera too. I watch Al Jazeera. I don't watch American news a lot of the times, because American news, it falls under the entertainment umbrella. Most people don't realize that. And we had this discussion on Monday. I tell people, if you can decipher what they're talking about through all the smoke and the mirrors, then you can get to the actual gist of what they're trying to get at. But at the bottom of each broadcast, there's a crawl that has the little Roman numerals at the bottom of it. It said, and then it'll say, CNN is a subsidiary of Time Warner Entertainment, and the key word in that is entertainment, which means our news here is nothing more than what? Entertainment.
Yeah,
it's mixed in.
Let me bring it back one thing. I forgot something. Hold that thought, and then I'm gonna introduce J Bear. The other piece when we were talking about other countries, I'm glad you brought that up. Joining. we kind of figured Russia and I was going to help them out because when Paul mentioned we thought that they didn't have nuclear, Iran doesn't really have access to nuclear weapons, but Russia and their other allies do. And with all of these other countries saying, okay, we're going to do it, and they picking sides, that's why the whole World War III thing is coming up because they don't care where they're shooting and bombing. It's just like everybody's just beefing right now. You get what I mean? But I'm gonna tell you who we ain't nobody trying to play with. North Korea, Jung Dong Dong, whatever his name is.
Kim Jong Un.
Listen, ain't nobody dumb enough to play with him because he is itching to go to war and he is itching to use his weapons. That's one nobody because if you notice, they don't cross a certain point with him at all. But when it comes to like Russia and all these other people, think about the boats. We should have known Russia was going to be like, oh, we got you. And then when it comes to the prices of like oil and everything like that, those boats that they stole, but one or two of the boats was Russia boats, right? Nobody never spoke about that. They claimed the boat was empty. Why wouldn't you think Russia was going to team up? Then you got China like, oh, okay, we got your back. And I'm like, okay. And then next thing you know, we start hearing about missiles, drones, all of this stuff. But now I'm I'm just baffled because we know our government shysty, shady, and they want to leak what they want to leak. But now you want to say that drones or they want to bomb like missiles covered as drones is ready to attack California. But y'all knew this the whole time. So going back to the sleeper cell thing, I don't think they're activated yet, but they keep talking about they don't know for sure if that is. Once they do, we just in trouble. Because I think about it, Iran had years, years to put certain things in place if they care. So I look at it from that perspective. Uh, welcome J-Bear. Let's see what he got to say. Um, J-Bear, welcome. Okay, he's now welcome. So I guess I'll go to the comments because I think he's having technical issues. J-Bear is here in Baltimore too. So if y'all see people come up, we just having some bad weather right now. So I'm gonna just
Y'all
read a
hear
couple
me?
of comments real quick. Daisha said, "Hello there, folks. Can you mute? Can you mute? Can you mute? Can you?" It's always that. Datrix said, "Hello there, folks." Then I was like, "Hey," and then, well, it says JB Clayton up here, but I know him as Blaze. Love to see what y'all doing. And I was like, "Thank you." And then he was like, "Yep, it was something I think Q said when you first started talking about your war." So he was replying to you. Then Blaze also said not to go there, but it's the signs of the times. And then he got several planes. And then he was like blackmail too. So he was just chiming in on the whole war talking why Trump is doing what he's doing. And then J Bear, who was up here, he's thinking he's in a private chat, but he's in the real chat. So we just want to continue to read his comments. I can't hear Coco. And then I was like, okay, yeah. And then he said, only Q. Well, Q was the only person talking at the time. So, and then something else that you said, Blaze was like, J I guess he was asking you, what's that again? And then he was like, Q. And then he said he's running because it's a real hit, not a fake hit he paid for.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I had forgot all about that whole thing until it was a family member of mine. We discussed like news and politics and stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, because you know," and I was like, "OMG, whole nother angle." Which
look,
they are coming up when I'm like you said, it was unauthorized. Nobody, he's doing a lot of stuff just to do it. And
yeah.
then I'm a Cat Williams. He wake up and be like, well, I'm gonna do the demo, some shit. And then he
Mhm.
do what he do. And then when it hit the fan, he like, damn, I'm gonna fix this. You know them, he just don't do it. Y'all
Well,
president.
the thing is, okay, media propagandists are saying, this is a holy war. This is this, that, and the third. Okay, not really. It's not really a holy war because there's nothing Christian about these people. They're cosplaying Christians, quote unquote. Like what's his name? Pete Hegseth. This guy has a tattoo of a Jerusalem cross on his chest. And he served in the Coast Guard. Okay, that's like me serving as a water boy for the New York Giants, saying I'm on the team. Okay, I don't get any credit. I may get a Super Bowl ring, but I didn't go out there and put in any work. I didn't do any push-ups, any sit-ups, any chin-ups, any pushing the sled, any tackling people. This guy's a Secretary of War. Okay, they want to establish dominance over in that region because of one thing: the oil. The Strait of Hormuz control it is. There's a lot of stuff over in the Strait of Hormuz that affects a lot of countries, right? Because that's where a lot of oil supplies come from. So that's how we get our oil. It's through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, with gas prices going up, and they'll go back down once this is over, but the damage is going to be irreparable. That damage is going to be totally irreparable.
I
Jay,
don't know
man,
if y'all can hear me, but y'all
you
on
got to
mute.
mute your
I don't.
background.
I can't. I can
Whatever's
see
in,
y'all, but I
hold on.
can't hear you.
But whatever's in your background, can you mute it,
Can't
please?
hear you.
Go ahead. Log off and come back on. Rich, can you help him, please? Go ahead and continue, Q.
Yeah. I said about the Strait of Hormuz. Um, it does affect a lot of things. Yeah, the price is going to go back down. We don't know when. Um, United States has always been a self-interest nation because they're going to war for selfish reasons.
Mhm.
They're not going to war to liberate. Let's get this out of the way. The United States proclaims to be liberators, right? They claim to be liberators. We're liberating the people from the oppression. When I looked at the other news, like Al Jazeera, the people in Iran was like sad that the Ayatollah died and this, that, and the third, and they want the United States head on a spit. They want it on a pike because there was no reason why the United States should have attacked Iran. It was unauthorized, as I kept saying. There was no reason why they needed to do that. Okay, they didn't have this energy in 1980 when they held the hostages, and then come to find out, 40 years later, those black people that were taken hostage by the Iranians, they were released. And people don't realize Iran and black people, they get along.
Well, that could be true in the same, but at the end of the day, we still American citizens. Because you
Right.
see, they even put out the statement, "No American is safe," and I thoroughly believe that. Because even though we, we, this country goes to war to steal resources, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They go to war for purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like it just didn't make sense. And then to bomb a school, killing a bunch of kids
Mm-hmm.
was crazy. It was disheartening, and I get it. War is war, and people can say that, but it's still. disheartening. And then even though they can like us all day long, but at the end of the day, you're an American. They don't look at, oh, you black and you live there, so we're gonna try to miss you. No, you're an American right
Mm-mm.
now. They have
But,
issues with any American, no matter what your race is.
right.
And
But
that's the thing that we really have to understand. But while we getting into that, I want to kind of transition this into also because you did mention it briefly, like the economy and cost of living, which this is also affecting. But I want to get your thoughts on the economy as it is currently and cost of living as it is right
the economy, listen, this economy uh, is one of the worst economies I've lived through. Okay. This, yes, we are in a recession. Okay. I don't care what News Central says. I don't care. Oh, matter of fact, read that comment that JB said before I go into my tangent. No? Okay. We are in a recession. We have been in a recession for about a couple of years now. As soon as he got back in office, that's when the economic downturn really started happening. Remember, this president bankrupts everything he touches. Everything. He's bankrupted all his casinos. He's bankrupted all his construction businesses, aka this guy does not know what he's doing. Right? So now he's ruined the trust of other countries. And that trust is going to take years to rebuild because of all the stuff he's been doing. He has basically ruined the trust with our allies. He's made enemies of our allies. He's made our allies into enemies. And the thing is, not everybody's like panicking. Everybody's like, the United States can't get touched. Yes, they can. See, the trick to the United States is we're not landlocked like Europe. We're not landlocked like Asia. We're not landlocked like Africa, right? We're landlocked north and south. We have two oceans as our barriers. Only way we can be invaded by enemy forces is if they came in through Mexico, through South America, or through Canada. Because if they came through submarine, the coastlines are already guarded. Both east and west coasts are already guarded. We'll see them before they know what happened, and we'll just blow them both sides of the water. Now, sleeper cells, yes, they're here. They've been here. Sleeper cells have always been here. Because this is why you vetting people who come to your country is very paramount to your national security. You need to vet these people. Because, yeah, they may seem like Mr. Rogers on the outside, but on the inside, they ready to blow anything up and everything. So, with this being said, everybody's like, oh, United States, they got the best military in the world. No, they don't. This guy wants to establish the draft again.
now. But I kind of think the sleeper cell thing, they could be citizens that they've been here long enough. I mean, if you think about the last time we were at war with them, they had enough time for us to. I don't think that they're activated yet. I think we're gonna know when they activated, and by the time our government says something, it's gonna be like too late. But I definitely think they're here. I think they probably already got citizenship when other presidents were there. I agree. You don't know what they look like, who they are, anything like that. But when it comes down to the economy and inflation, everything of why not y'all, but people were voting for him, thinking that the cost was going to go down and everybody was going to have this comfortable lifestyle, and people were going to be able to work and make money. But what we're seeing is the total opposite. I just read an article where almost 100,000 jobs were taken away since he's been in office.
Yeah.
Two, the real statistical data shows that the unemployment rate has also gone up. Even though the job market, there are jobs, but at the same time, the jobs aren't paying to match the prices because a lot of
Not only
positions.
that.
Yeah, and then we gonna get there. That's after this. That's after that. I know where you're going, but hold on to that part. But even with that being said, it's like even in my field in healthcare, it's a lot of the positions when you go and you're trying to look for another job, what they were is not what it is now. The salary has decreased. Even though it may be still like, but it's not the same because a lot of companies and organizations, hospitals, clinics are rolling back and willing back and working within a budget. And because a lot of people don't know when the next budget is going to come, if they're going to have money for the next fiscal or the next quarter or whatever. So a lot of organizations and companies are functioning cautiously, even down to hiring, pay. A lot of people not getting raises, but you're seeing a decrease in pay. But your workload is increasing, so you're gonna have a lot of citizens experiencing burnout. Then, when you think about it, so your pay is not increasing, but everything around us, from well, you got the rent, your mortgage, phone bill, food, utility costs is crazy being taxed
Hmm.
right now. And then you also have just like cost of living, everyday essentials, even personal care products is high as hell right now. So
Hmm.
we have a whole lot. So with that being said, I know J Bear, hopefully we can get your thoughts. I hope you muted all your devices in your background. We just want to hear your voice and get your input before we go back to Paul.
Cool. So you ready? Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you. I just hope your TV and stuff is on mute.
All right, yeah, it is.
No, it's
I'm
not
gonna
because I
go
hear
back.
it muted.
Huh?
I can hear it muted, and you. That's why you chuckle because you know it's not muted. Please,
Oh no. Hold on. Let me go. Cut the TV off.
y'all see what I go through. Every time he come up here, he calls me problems. Every
Look,
time.
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to stay on topic.
I love that for you, but we just want to hear you, not a lot, because it messes
All
up
right,
the
can y'all
shit.
hear me now?
Yes, you don't have to
All right.
yell though.
Okay. Listen, my thing about this Trump situation, I was listening to. No, me and this guy, he was an ex-veteran, and he was talking about like, I'm gonna go. Can I go back to the war and all the stuff that like the threats and the bombings and stuff like that?
You can because you wasn't up here, and you're technically a guest, so we'll allow it this one time.
I'm a special guest. All right, check it out. My question: do y'all think China being quiet, extremely quiet, and Russia is in the open and helping Iran or whatever, helping them out? Do y'all ever think China's going to turn on Russia?
No.
No,
Do y'all think that?
no, because the one they all know. First of all, what I saw when China came out, China and Russia came out and said they were going to back Iran. They specifically said that what they still got their motion. The tariffs is not affecting them. They're spending money and trading amongst each other. They have a whole system. They not letting nothing come between it, and they're getting good deals. Because you got to think, all of Iran, Russia, and China are rich and a lot of resources that we want. But those same resources that they're trading, because like y'all president said, he loved the tariff word. They're tariffing, and everything that we get is like quadruple in cost when they tariffing us, but they getting it dirt cheap, and they getting rich off of us because we, regardless of what, we need it. And but unfortunately, we got to pay for it. The citizens are paying for it through taxes and being cutthroat, and people's social securities and all of that stuff is being taken advantage of. So when we look at it, no, why would you? If my allies winning as far as on a trade game, and our company and our countries are doing well and getting the resources, and their economy is not like ours, we owe a lot of money to other countries for like trillions and whatever come after
Billion.
trillions of dollars.
Yeah, you right about
Yeah.
that.
I don't think
You right
so.
Look
about that.
look at that coalition that they formed back about a year and a half, 2 years ago, probably longer than that, called BRICS. Who is that? What does BRICS stand for?
Was
B
it
R I BRICS.
Brazil, Russia, India,
Brazil, Russia, India, China,
China, and Africa.
Okay.
South
No, I'm
Africa.
sorry.
Not
Shit,
South Africa.
not
I
Africa.
think
What? I forgot to ask. It ain't
yeah.
Switzerland. Who?
I think it
Who?
was South Africa.
I know Africa was in there somewhere because that's when
Hmm.
around the times Africa said F us, and then I completely understood it because how we did Africa
Oh
was
yeah, we
not
did them wrong.
not right at all. What would you expect us
Brazil.
to
It
do?
says Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South America.
South America.
I mean
What's
South
the
Africa. South Africa.
No, I was right. I was right. South America. I mean South Africa. Um, yeah.
Wow.
With with they it's basically that coalition is basically their version of the UN. And what they're
Makes sense.
doing, they're clicking up. They're clicking up, working together, excluding the United States. Because number one, the United States, they do a lot of shady things around the world, and people got tired of it. Those countries, they got tired of it. They got tired of having countries around them being destabilized, being invaded, getting their resources pillaged for the greed. The United States has always been greedy. They've never done anything to help anyone except for their own self interest. You know what I'm saying? This is why uh, all this is about with the terrorists and all this. Like I keep telling people, the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. I tell people to research it, read about it. Back in, I think it was 1910 or 1920. I forgot what year it was when that was enacted, or 1919. I think it was 1919, if my memory serves me correctly. I think it was Warren G. Harding that instituted this. It didn't work then. Tariffs did not work then. In fact, it exacerbated the Great Depression. It was one of the leading causes of why the Great Depression happened in the late 1920s, early 1930s.
Before you keep going with that one, let me
So
just say,
y'all
'cause-
think? I mean, you
wait a
think?
minute, hold on,
Okay.
Jay, because we haven't heard
All
from
right.
Paul
Orange.
about that.
Orange peeling.
Hey, Bear,
It's
wait,
it's like
wait.
he look like he's trying to not go forward in anything. His to me his
I
objective
can't hear you.
is, huh?
Jay, tell him hold on for 1 second.
Coco said, hold on for 1 second. You probably can't hear. Can you hear her?
No, I can't hear none of them.
Anyway, we're gonna let Paul go
Be on the
real
day I
quick,
come on and don't do this.
but we well, Rich, can you mute him for a second because we're gonna let Paul go because Paul hasn't gave his thoughts on the. We're talking about the economy as far as like the cost and cost of living, like how everything prices being raised and all of that other good stuff. You
One
got
thing
it.
I'm gonna say about the economy. One thing I'm gonna say about the economy, so we don't have to drag it out, is that pretty soon you can be expecting everybody and their grandma to be in these stores shoplifting. That's what I'm gonna say about the economy.
Yeah.
We kind of saying that now because you know, I was a lot of time.
In these stores shoplifting.
Can we
That's what I'm gonna say about that car.
mute yourself,
Yeah,
please?
we kind of saying that now because
No, mute your background. I forgot what I was getting ready to say. Oh, we kind of saying that now because there's so many people. Somebody else got something on, and it's creating a thing for me. That's not making me good right now. But they have a whoever got something in the background that's playing. Please turn it off or mute it, please. And I know who it is. But anyhow, I think we kind of seeing it now because I watch a lot of crime TV, and you see more people shoplifting, especially when it comes down to food. You see people walking out or being arrested for stealing like carts of food because food and everything is going up, and a lot of times even down to supplemental benefits. A lot of people are seeing a reduction in that, so people are really making tough decisions about what's more important or what do they need because a lot of people are not able to meet the basic essentials of everyday life. So somebody else
It's
can
gonna
go,
get
but I
worse.
need
It's
whoever
gonna
has
get worse.
background, I need that to mute.
It's gonna get worse. I went in the store the other day and the guy was sitting in the bathroom with a bottle of wine and a can of Viennas.
Say what?
He was sitting in the store in the bathroom with a can of Viennas and a bottle of wine. He said, "Well, they ain't gonna give me for shoplifting. If they give me for something, they ain't gonna be for shoplifting."
Yeah. It's going to get worse because, again, we are in an economy where now it's about survival. I've been out of work, for instance, I've been out of work about a week now. What I've been doing? Ubering. I gotta get money somehow so I can pay bills. I'm not gonna go through what I went through last year when I was out of work for forever for about 8 months. Just sending out resume after resume after resume after resume and not hearing back because there's a lot of ghost jobs out there. So I got crafty. I looked up side hustles. I looked up apps that lead you into like gig apps, what they call gig apps, where you can go pick up a shift and you work your shift, you get paid that day. It's called Shift Smart. There's an app called Shift Smart, and you can go. Uh, you don't have to apply. All you gotta do is go on the app. Hey, I want to pick up this shift, and you go work that shift. You get your money. You good to go. You ain't got to sit there and do an interview. You ain't got to do all that. Blah 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 blah. A lot of people are going to be. People like, well, the economy's terrible. Everybody's out of work. Yeah, everybody is out of work. A lot of people, well, not everyone's out of work. A lot of people are out of work, and that unemployment rate is going to skyrocket. It's going
They
to be
said
like,
no, my fault. They said nurses and doctors are the main ones that's losing their jobs too.
mhm,
I mean,
yeah,
It's
it's they
it's
making it where I mean you right, you survival mode. Basically, you gotta fit in where you can get in at, get your money at. Yeah, because they said a lot of
Yeah,
nurses are there's a lot of nurses out there that are losing their jobs.
mhm,
that's a good thing we already know about being in survival mode because we've been in it most all our damn lives.
That's right.
mhm,
I don't even think it's not even just a lot of nurses and doctors. It's not that they're losing their jobs. A lot of it is burnout. Nurses and doctors, healthcare professionals, period, since COVID, have been burnt out. A lot of people, and then like when the travel nurse thing came about, most nurses and doctors and stuff, most of them have gone agency, and then a lot of times people when it comes to the schooling, a lot of people want that debt. So we don't see, just like we don't have a lot of recruits for the military. Each profession is seeing less because, again, the qualifications, they want you to have all of this stuff, but at the same time, they really don't want to pay. So a lot of people are asking themselves, is it really worth it? And then we talk about
Hmm.
generational wealth. A lot of people, especially the newer generations, don't really have that or are experiencing that. And then a lot of people, even if you come from generational wealth, a lot of people aren't taught money management or financial literacy, ways though to keep that going. So, but that's a whole nother show. We're not gonna get into that. But yeah, that's just my whole take on it. But I think every profession is like hurting right now. So yeah. So I mean, I just don't get it. I think all professions are hurting. But when it comes to the healthcare piece, I think it's starting to section off more where the specialties are becoming the higher need because of everything that's going on.
Yeah, because the profession I work in IT, um, a lot of stuff is being either outsourced or AI is taking it over. And what people don't understand about AI, great to know AI, great to know it. However, and this goes in hand with the utilities, AI is generated through the data centers. Data centers take up a lot of power. So, what do the power companies do? Oh, okay, we can pass these large amounts of usage to consumers and have them pay for it. You see what I'm saying? See where I'm going with this?
Hmm.
The United States has always been a let's pass it to the people. Pass it to the people. Let them pay for it because they wanted it. We didn't ask for AI. That thing just came up all of a sudden. We didn't ask for it.
They've been working on AI since they started inventing computers. But
Yeah,
since
they've been what?
we on the topic of AI, we're going to merge the two. I think this is appropriate time to merge into the next topic of technology, how it's changing, how it's changing our lives as citizens globally, and like what it's doing. So I'm gonna just bring in the subtopics in case anybody want to hit on any one of them. So what I have under that is like for its communication and social interaction. We're talking about technology, how it's changing, how we communicate, social interaction, and now you're gonna have now we have cars driving themselves, um, and then our success. And I'll get into that when we get to that part because I kind of want to elaborate on that one a little bit. But we got Q. So Paul, what are your thoughts on that?
What my thoughts on what I'm hurting? What my thoughts on what, daughter? I'm sitting. You see me sitting here looking, and I'm. This is
I was
like,
like, I appreciate you for being with us. So no, I was saying, what are your thoughts on technology, like how it's changing in our everyday life and everything like that, as far as like how we communicate, how we interact, the cars driving themselves, things like that.
the world is one big bug. Thanks to technology, the world is one big bug with eavesdropping and everything else you can imagine. Like these doggone phones. I'm so tired every time that I talk about something when I'm around my phone. Next thing you know, it's all up on my doggone Facebook, all on my damn emails and all this stuff. I'm just tired of this stuff. These people are just, they eavesdropping. Technology has went too far, and people are not using it in the right way. Hey, only thing I can say, we better teach our kids technology. Stop worrying about this other crap. Start teaching them technology so they don't get lost in the future. Because
I agree.
a whole lot of stuff that's around right now, Lord knows when I was in my teens all those years ago, I didn't think about none of this stuff. Cell phones, uh, video calls on your phones, and all this stuff linking up through all this stuff. No, I didn't see this stuff coming. Even when they first started with the computers, they had them big old doggone things you had to move around with a doggone cart. And they had the big old things you put the floppy disk in and all this stuff. Now look how far it came now. You don't even need the floppy disk and all that stuff no more. Technology is why these people over here so doggone greedy and they so rotten. Because they
Yeah.
want to be at the head of the technology game. And they can't be because the Chinese people, the Japanese people, the Iranian people, they want to doggone annihilate them. Everybody is more further advanced in technology than what the U.S. think they are and what the U.S. is going to say they are. Basically, we are the hind tit. We suck in the hind tit, I should say. We suck in the hind tit when it comes to technology.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
You're absolutely right.
unless we get some leadership that is focused on getting along with people in these other places like you're supposed to and get to learn the stuff that they know and teach us this stuff, we're going to always be behind thinking we are the leaders, and we're not.
Well, it's a technocracy. They merged technology and politics. This is why you have what you have in office. This is why you have Elon Musk able to uh, go in, mess up voting machines, and tilt it so that uh, it favors whoever he wants it to favor. Now, as far as the cars driving themselves, I see that all day. Atlanta, you go into the inner city Atlanta, you see Waymos all over the place, especially in Midtown Atlanta. Waymo. I see Waymo. They got the little bulb that's circulating, and got all these mirrors and all that. I was like, I wouldn't feel safe riding in that thing because there's no driver.
And if it
And
malfunction, woo!
you're in trouble.
I
But
think that whoever created the computer, the internet, is the biggest criminal ever. And I also look at it from a deeper, I don't want to say deeper, from another perspective of control. Because when it was invented, computers, everything goes faster. You can do this, you can do that. But the more it enhances, the more it controls our everyday life. Think about everything that we do, from cell phones to your laptop to your computer to how we work. You know what I mean? Like everything is digital. Nobody wants to do paper. Nobody wants to have a backup paper plan or old school thing. When in reality, most systems, when they crash, you got to have a backup. Literally, especially the type of work I do, if we have a system failure or it happened to crash or be down, everybody loses their complete mind. And it's like, okay, only people who know how to function without this can do that, because you're always supposed to have a backup in case the system crashes so that you can continue to be productive. But nowadays, the backup to the technology is another technology. Or we just going to shut down and tell people we'll call them back until the systems come up. So then you have that. Then again, cell phones, how we interact, social media. It's so bad, people don't even like to have a conversation anymore. Like whereas though a text message is the most people preferred method of communication. And then when you see someone face to face, there's no conversation because they don't have they can't talk to you through a text or through a phone or through a DM or through something like that. Granted, it broadens your reach, but there's so many other cons that come along with socializing using technology. So the other piece that I wanted to elaborate on, and I believe we'll go to JBET after this one, is I put down also how technology is measuring our success. Meaning, like when Q brought up AI, how we apply for jobs. You ever talk to people, or you notice nowadays, what's the first thing people say? Oh, ask Chat GPT. People will use Chat GPT on an interview. Chat GPT for your resume. Chat GPT for your cover letter. Chat GPT for your paper. Even in
Mm-hmm.
curriculum for schools, even when I was finishing my master's program, they integrated AI into the curriculum, and now they have courses specifically for AI. But most courses and classes have an AI course that you have to pass because that's how much is coming in there. But I think right now, the way that the world is going, the use of technology, how we can maneuver it, is measuring how successful you will be in the long run within your career. So I guess I don't know if he can hear me because he didn't do what I asked him to do. So can someone please tell J Bear it's his turn?
Jay Bear, she said, go ahead and speak.
Oh, he really can't because he didn't hear anything that I said. So we're going to go to you, Paul.
I just spoke about technology, didn't
Oh, Q, somebody.
All
So the
right.
new
I?
part that I said about
Everybody did
Y'all can
success.
hear
except for
me?
Jay
Oh,
Bear. Yeah, we hear you.
Oh. Can you hear me, Paul?
Yeah, I hear you.
I
Can
can't
Can
somebody
y'all
hear
hear?
tell me
nobody.
to log off and then come back in? Because he's not going to answer the right one. Did he hear me?
All right.
Can you hear? Can you hear
My
Coco?
thing on.
No.
Jay Bear, can you hear Coco when she's
I can
saying
hear you.
anything? Okay,
Log
he said.
off and then come back in. That's what I need him to do because it's going to throw everything off.
She said. Okay, well he heard you.
well, yeah. Uh, Chat GPT and all of that. It does enhance you learning things, but it also causes you to be lazy, especially like when you send out a resume now. Most companies nowadays they use applicant tracking systems. They don't care about your old school resume. They care about keywords. However many keywords you have in your resume determines whether or not they call you back. They don't care about how much experience you have. They care about those keywords. To me, that's backwards logic. Keywords aren't going to determine how much experience you have on a job that you're seeking.
Yeah.
However, those applicant tracking systems that are, oh yeah, we want the keywords, the more keywords we have, the better his resume looks and the better we'll call him back. And I'm like, no, what we need, there's no balance there, right? When they ask you in the interview about what you actually did, what are you going to do? You're going to lie about it when you didn't do it? I know what I've done on my jobs. I don't really need an applicant tracking system or keywords, but I put them in there anyway so I can get through the door faster to talk to them people about what my skill set, what I bring to the table, what my skill set is, what I can do for them. Because it's all about what you can do for them. It's not about what they can do for you. Remember, their mindset is you need them more than they need you, which is really the opposite. They need you more than you need them. You just need an income. You just need money coming in. Doesn't matter how you get your money. You just need money coming in. The only thing you need that job for is for benefits. And those are disappearing too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to pay these medical companies, these insurance companies, these exorbitant fees for benefits. That's why a lot of people are going. That's why a lot of people are doing contracts with no. They're doing 1099 independent contracting. They're doing W2, W4, whatever that is,
But they
with
can
no
get
benefit.
having no insurance, you got to pay a penalty fee. I know, like, and so that's crazy. But a lot of companies are steering away or not paying. Instead of paying what the 80/20, like most companies will do, they're lowering it now. They may do either a 50/50 because that's the minimum standard, or they may do like a 60 to 70/30 when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to their benefit package. One, again, a lot of the companies, organizations, small businesses are scaling back because of one, cost of goods is expensive. So just to be operational and competitive, you got to cut back somewhere. And unfortunately, those cutbacks are benefits. And you're right, a lot of people, because the contractual positions, because they may not offer the benefits, are paying more money. So the company is saving money in that, but they can give you a little bit more. But then now you got to shop and pay out of pocket for healthcare costs, or you're going to get fined for not having insurance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And not only that, there used to be, when back in the what 40s, 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or whatever. Whenever you stayed at a company 30, 40 years, what would they give you? They would give you a pension. They'd give you a gold watch if you were lucky, and probably a plaque. Hey, I completed 40 years of service, and probably have your picture hanging up on the wall, in a lunchroom somewhere. Now they don't even do that. They don't do that. They don't even, the 401k is a joke.
A lot of people are cashing those out. Remember
Yeah.
when he came in office and started stripping people of their jobs. Um, a lot of people were cashing out their 401 and just paying the penalty for cashing out early because they want you to wait until you retire, but now they're increasing the retirement age. But and also to go back into how the technology is changing the job market, a lot of positions, and when we go back, I think who was it? I think J mentioned like the nurses and doctors. That's because most hospitals and clinics are starting to put robots and AI in place of a lot of positions. So yeah, you do see that, but I agree with you. You still need people to man that because they have to get maintenance. They have to, if something goes short, you got to fill in or something like that. But it's lessening a role, but there's also a takeover. And I ain't gonna get into the other piece, but all of this stuff was literally in a book that we be talking about that's a little controversial, but we're not gonna go in there because I know people gonna take it to another level. That's a whole nother show. But I really feel like that's the other piece is that now humans, we have to compete with technology for our employment, for our careers, for how successful we can become. And no, a lot of people may feel like, oh, there's security. There's really nobody, no matter what your role is or what you do, you don't have job security. There's really no such thing because the people who thought they had job security, they were in for a rude awakening when they were stripped of their positions. And then a lot of companies are eliminating positions to save money, but putting those responsibilities onto another position, which is doubling the work again, which is increasing burnout for the average worker. No matter, especially middle class and upper class, you're working harder.
Yeah. And what's going to happen is the more advanced it becomes, a lot of stuff you're going to see robots doing what humans used to do. But caveat is you still need humans to program those robots. Robots ain't going to think for themselves. AI is garbage in, garbage out. That's an old basic. That's an old basic IT term. Garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you put into AI is what you're gonna get back. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, the more advanced it becomes, they're gonna try to like get like with customer service. Those call centers are gonna start disappearing. because everything is being pushed either overseas or everything is being pushed towards robots. Most people don't want to talk to overseas people because of the language barrier. Most people don't want to talk to robots because when they press, it says, for English, press one. You press one, and it's still saying for English, press one. You press one again, and it's still, you know what I'm saying, still not going through, and that increases the frustration of
Yes.
people.
Nah, when you press one and then they still speaking Spanish.
Yeah, right.
They be like push one for English. You push one and they be like, hello. Repeat that again, ma'am. Do you have somebody that's from the United States? Because if nobody can push one for English, and no offense to anybody, then you send me to another foreign country. We trying to figure out what each other is saying. Then I'm trying to spell out every word that I'm saying. It becomes frustrating, and a lot of us in the call, and that's why a lot of people are like, I'm not calling. And then they have the new thing now. Well, you don't have to call. Some companies are going to just a chat. Whereas though you can go to our website and then you got to chat with somebody, even down to applications. Um, Part of sometimes what I do with my clients is when we're doing like job readiness and I'm helping them apply for jobs. A lot of the jobs now want you to go into a chat and say why you want the job. First of all, can I just get to the application first? But like you get what I mean? Like it's like let's just take it step by step. There's so many missing steps because of the technology. But J Bear, you would like to get real quick?
All right. My thing is, I had a little guy, little dude I was talking to, and I asked him, what would you do if you ain't have your tablet? Whatever would you do if you ain't have your cell phone and you had to call 911 or call your mom's? What would you do? He wouldn't. He said he wouldn't, didn't know that. I said, well, you ever heard of a payphone? He said, what is that? And I showed him a payphone. He said, what is that? I said, that's a payphone.
Where they at though?
I
That's the
showed him on
other.
my phone. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
No, but
and he
there's
said
no
he didn't know
paper
what to
with it.
do with it. They wouldn't know how to pick it up. They wouldn't know how to dial numbers or. And he said, I said, if you had to go back, that's why I asked you the question on the. I said, well, could you live like the Amish? Because I used to deliver in Amish, Pennsylvania, and I talked to them. They said they don't have no electricity. Only way they can accept something, like if I gave Coco a drill, the only thing they can accept if it came from your hands. Everything else is washed by hand. I don't think some of our kids and our people that's like after us ready for that type of stuff yet. And then I'm honestly be frankly with all this war stuff, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen when we're going to be in a blackout. There ain't gonna be no cell phones. It ain't gonna be nothing. There ain't gonna be no robots. It ain't gonna be nothing. It's gonna be us. And then and Paul said it. We know how to live. My mother taught me how to burn a candle, how to go cook something on the stove. I mean, you learned that in JROTC how you make a fire. How to prepare yourself. But I don't think we ready for the hard stuff yet. I think it's coming.
Well,
It's really coming.
You gotta look at certain shows like The Walking Dead and stuff like that. But when we talk about kids not being able to
Yeah.
use one, I think we also gotta acknowledge that technology has dumbed down everything. Where so what we know of life and how to function and survive and utilize the area around you. That's why I look at it like a form of control. Because when we were young and coming up, I think it's safe to say all of us up here, we had to go outside. You use your environment to make things to play with. We wanted to use our mind to build. Now technology is
Oh.
already programming them not to do that. So when we talk about payphones and things like that, even if there was a payphone, who carries change anymore? Everything has gone digital. You have digital currency and things like that. So unless you have a payphone that you can, because everybody used to going up to the register, you take your phone and do do do. Now you pay for your stuff. You feel me? Everything has been that. A lot of people don't even know how to count money. A lot of people
Yeah, the
don't
kids
even know
don't know how to do it.
how to count money or math or anything like that because everything is so digitized that we're really dumb. And that's why if you look at other countries, they still teach a lot of the standard things that we've kind of alleviated from our curriculums. Unless we teach our kids like how to count, get your change back. Because think about it, when you go to the store and if you decide to pay with cash, they get a whole attitude if you got some money because everybody's so used to you ain't got no card. If you don't take this girl and I want my change back, and they
They
be
do that at McDonald's.
yeah, and they literally struggle. But do I think if it was to come down to that and a blackout, whatever, honestly and truthfully, I think we would know what to do because we've been having to figure it out. And when we are faced with adversity, we figure out a way to overcome it. So do I think everybody will? No, but I think that's going to be the time where people want to actually have to listen and work together. I think a lot of the problem also now is in the communication is listening because people can type something in and then all you gotta do is read a response. You don't have to listen to somebody. So you ever have a conversation with somebody and they're not listening to what you're saying, but they just responding and responding and responding and responding, and they cannot comprehend what you're saying because that listening skill has been taken away by technology. Because what you gotta listen to?
Well,
I'm in my public.
the issue is if an EMP were to hit the electrical grid, because that's all it would take was an electromagnetic pulse that'll wipe out the grid, the electrical grid. Then you know what you will invoke? You will invoke panic in people. You will invoke riots in people. You will invoke savagery in people because those people who are in the dark aren't going to know what to do. They're going to think, "Oh my God, we're being attacked. So let me just run out here to Kroger and let me go just rack up on food. Let me go to the car dealership and just steal this car because they ain't gonna know what's going on anyway. If they know, they don't count inventory by hand. They do it by digital, by scanning mechanisms. If that happens, watch how people act when something of that nature, of that magnitude actually happens. Hell, it was I saw a Facebook post. One of the Facebook associates, because I don't call them friends, I call them associates, because I don't know them personally, except through Facebook, and I've never met them. He was talking about nuclear war, and I was like, bro, stop with the criminal criminality mindset. Stop that, because he's bipolar anyway. He's like, he's up and down, he's manic. I said, bro, if they wanted to bomb us, they would have done it by now. They're not gonna. He was like, well, yeah, but they got, Iran got nuclear war. No, they don't. No, they don't. They have armaments. They don't have nuclear warheads. They're bombing Israel. They're
They're
bombing
allies.
Israel. Yeah. That's why Israel is employing us to assist them,
Yeah.
because they know that, okay, we're going to build this iron dome over us. This exotic, whatever this iron dome is. Missiles are getting through this iron dome. Trump wanted to establish a gold dome. Because he has an obsession with gold. I don't know why. That's one of the softest metals on the planet.
No, but you do know why. We all know why. One, he wants to be, what is it, king.
A
Yeah,
dictator.
Go back in history, most kings who ruled, most of their thrones and their things were made of gold.
right.
It's everything is really blatant as to what he's trying to do, what
Yeah,
he's attempting to do, but it's they're allowing him to do it and then just deal with the consequences after the fact, which is even more sickening. But that's the whole plan. But then when it comes down to the whole technology thing, they know what they're doing when it comes to that, even down to um our currency becoming digital. Our money is depleting in value,
I
depleting
heard they
in
don't.
value.
I heard they don't take money. In other countries, they don't even use bill. They use. I don't even think they use their own bills.
No, they do. They won't take our money. Even if our money current, the best thing to do is wherever you go is to exchange. If you want to have like money,
Yeah,
is to
that's all.
exchange money for whatever their currency is. But a lot of places, I know like the last time I traveled outside of the, I don't want to say outside of the states because it wasn't states. It was just they just do different money, but they would not take any cash, none. They were like, oh no, if it wasn't their money, they did not want it. They wanted you to take your card. The digital currency is the move for a lot of things, and it's getting ready to increase more. Whereas though, because when you really think about it, crypto is what you hear a lot. All you gotta do is listen to like the language that they're using when they talking about bills and when they talk about commerce and how to pay for it. Like even gold, when we talk about gold, gold is getting ready to be exchangeable. That's why a lot of countries that's rich in gold they exchange and they trade gold. Gold is valuable. So I don't know if y'all remember a couple years ago, everybody thought it was like this scam about getting into like current bars and stuff like that. They saw this coming and those things where as though you get bars of gold that become exchangeable because then they're going to have and they're working on it now like ATM machines where you can exchange your gold for for currency. So those are going to be like how we pay for things, um, how we exchange this amongst ourselves. And when you go to purchase your all of that's going to change pretty soon. Them cash register drawers is not going to open. It's just going to be the machine for you to. Everything is going to be digital.
Hmm.
They didn't see it coming. They pushed it in that direction. They ain't seen nothing coming. They
Right.
pushed it in
Yeah.
the direction for it going towards gold. Because see, they learned during all those years of grave robbing that they've been doing archaeological digs and stuff. Grave robbing, what I called it. All those years of grave robbing, and all those fine gems and gold and um, whatever else the African pharaohs and Egyptian pharaohs buried themselves with. They found out that stuff was quite enriching, to say the least. So now, if they can find all that gold that from way back then and it has value today, just imagine what they could do with the gold today to push it to have more value. Squeeze the dollar out because the dollar ain't hitting on nothing. Squeeze the dollar out and let's replace it with gold. Then you're going back to what the used to do in the West, trading gold dust and all that kind of stuff. Like you said, they want to get rid of the money. That's the main thing. They get rid of the money and keep track of everybody using their cards or whatnot. That's what it's going to be. Because see, they can keep track of what you're spending your money on with them cards and everything. If you got cash in your pocket, they don't know what the hell you're spending it on. They have no idea. They can't keep track of it.
I heard they got new
So yeah,
technology. I heard they got new technology where now you had to log in. I don't know if it's I where I heard it from. They said this where you gonna have to clock in. It's a new technology coming. I'm thinking about it now. And I heard about it yesterday. Day before yesterday, something about they was talking about it. Like we ain't gonna be doing a lot of like to get in your house. You gonna have to have a code. Like you have to have like a card. You had to have a card to go in these markets, Walmart. Where you go in, you got to pay to get in. Cause I go to the CFG, the Baltimore Arena. Let's put it like that. Now down there, you can go in, grab something, pay with your card. They'll put like a $35 limit on it. You go in there, grab what you want, and the camera could detect how much your stuff costs without you putting a scan code on it. And they bill you. But somebody was just to me, we were just talking about that. It's gonna be a new technology where everything is gonna be digitalized. And they said that's coming. But I don't know who told me that. I got to think about it and read
The
about
chip,
it. But
you talking about like the chip they gonna put in your hand? Because I know that's real. When everybody kept saying it wasn't
no, that's
true.
not the chip. I'm I'm thinking about because it was a car. It was something me and my son watched. I'll think about it. But
But
they
I know
saying
the
it's going to
chip thing
happen.
is true.
Yeah, I know about
No,
that chip. Yeah.
yeah, that's really get ready to be a thing sooner than what we think. Where you can just go and app whatever you word forgot going on, you and they can see you coming, and that's how they gonna do it. But it's technology gonna be crazy. But getting back to the gold thing, it made me think about it when Paul was talking about um how to go back in the day and what it would be worth. Because I watch stuff like Game of Thrones, House of Dragons, and stuff just to give a little insight. Remember how everything that they did, they would pay with coin, and one coin was worth a lot. So two coins, and you remember they were really trying to bribe each other. You got three of them joints. Oh, you could feed the whole village. So it made me think about stuff like that when we always talk about like what's in like these shows and things like that and how they do, which also made me think about we a lot of people pawn gold for money and they get paid. Remember that was like a big thing and still is. But
Bless you.
And gold coming back, so.
okay,
Bless you.
so we're coming up to the part where I want everybody to get their final thought, not final thoughts, but their thoughts on everything that we talked about, right? But I'm gonna add something special in. So I also, with that being said, because we always talk about the issues, even though if they may not be true, and your thoughts and your opinions, what are some possible resolutions and or what do you think we can do as a community during these tough times to minimize the what's the word I want to say the to decrease the blows ways to what we can do as a community to get through these next couple of years. Because mind you, this person ain't been there for a whole year yet. We still got a ways to go. So, what are your thoughts on it? So, who want to go first? You want me to
Q.
call somebody?
Q.
No, J Bear.
My thoughts. Hmm. Damn, I don't know yet. Me, let's see.
Okay, we gonna
As a
come back to you.
community, all right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No. Go. I thought you needed time. Go.
No, as a community, as I'm speaking on black folk. I'm speaking on the blacks. I'm gonna be honest with you because I see a lot us killing each other during the time we need to unite with each other. Um, we need to get together and try to establish some kind of unity because if we gotta fight, I don't know. I'm just speaking futuristic, whatever. Where we had to defend our area and not kill each other, we need to get together as a unit on that part because that orange peeling is dividing us in race. Jews got theirs, Chinese got theirs, whites got theirs, but we don't have nothing. Like our brothers, we killing each other, ain't realizing what your cousin might have to go to the draft, might have to go to a war. I was just thinking about that yesterday. About my son, I watched it on the news where they talk about drafting and going to the war. You know, because I was about to get drafted to Iraq war if it wasn't for my leg injury, and I told my son it's gonna be hard as hell on y'all. It's gonna be real hard. You don't know what you're gonna do when you get there. You don't know, you know. So I think as a community, we all need to really, really sit down. Because I always think about the Million Man March. I always think about that. They need to really do something with us because I think we need to work on us fast because it's coming. It's coming. That's all I gotta say.
Well put. I like that.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
mm, we gonna
As a
go.
community,
No,
as
we
a
go.
community.
I knew you was going. I wanted to save you for last. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Go
Paul,
ahead.
Paul, go, Paul.
Paul.
Huh. You know what? I keep hearing about the draft. And what's the age for the draft? What, 18 what?
I think
Whatever.
six. I think 17, 18. Because and when we was doing it, it was 17, 18. I think I think it's gonna be about around that age. High
Okay.
school.
Okay. And I don't know how high it goes to, what age it might go to.
Ain't like
But
50.
I think it's like
huh?
35, 40.
I thought it was higher
Okay.
than that.
Okay. So now let's look at this right here. People say that nothing's being done about the gang violence and all that stuff and the shootings in these big cities and all that stuff. But if they institute the draft, most of the people in these gangs are going to be within the draft age range. And that's going to be their way of getting rid of our people. Believe it if you want to or not. But they can use that draft because they're not going to try to send out their little white kids out to fight a war. They're going to get them all kind of benefits to get out of it, dodge, whatever you want to call it. And our young black men and young black women in them ages, that's mostly in these gangs, are going to get drafted. If they don't sign up for the draft, they get locked up. So that way they're going to look at trying to kill one bird, no, two birds, one bird with one stone. You go to the draft or you get locked up. For our communities, that's what we doing. We're doing a whole lot for the communities around here now. That's something we've been involved with, is working with the community, because we know it's hard on people, even though it hasn't got to the point where it's hard on everybody. It's hard on the elder people, especially right now, because they don't have much. And with them trying to take away most of your retirement, saying you got to be older and all this stuff to retire and all that stuff, they hoping that you die off so they can keep that money and got to pay you. So in order for us to survive this, as JBS said, we got to take care of our own community. We need to work with black and white and everybody else, but first we got to take care of our own community. We got to get us united, because without us being united, we're going to keep being the target of everything that's going on. And I'm telling you right now, like I said, 65. When I was 16, I tried to get in the army. I tried to register for the army, but they wouldn't let me go because they said I'd been in trouble. I had a felony already at 16, so they wouldn't let me go to the army. But I've seen a whole lot of friends of mine. They go to the army and they come back, and they just wasn't the same no more. War and stuff like that does something to people. And right now we in a war. Even though we're not physically at war, we're in a war. And the war is on our communities. So if we're going to survive this, we need to be getting everything that we can, whatever kind of help we can get together for each other. Get little food banks. We got food banks. Get food banks, clothing banks, places where people can get assistance, where they can get direction to go, where they need doctors, whatever. We need to make sure that we take care of each other. Same thing that the Black Panthers instituted in Oakland, California back in the 60s. That's what we need. That's what we need. That's it.
I totally agree, wholeheartedly. Also, what our communities need to do is educate themselves with all the technology that is out there. What do you want to do? TikTok all day? Do these stupid TikTok dances that don't mean anything? Do these stupid TikTok challenges that don't mean anything? Instead of figuring out what's really going on, educating yourself, and then the better educated you are, the more prepared you are to see what's coming down the pipe. Also, there are 8 billion people on this globe. 8 billion, give or take a few million. 3,000 billionaires. Only 3,000 billionaires. Who do you think could win a war if there really was a revolution? Would it be the billionaires because they have the power to deploy whatever? Or would it be the people that finally stand up and say enough is enough? The reason why people aren't going to go against that order is because they are mentally enslaved. Okay, they were like, well, if we go against the billionaires, how we'll get to work and how we going to get paid? Blah 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 blah. No, you can actually. It's been proven. And the American Revolution, what did we do? We overthrew England, right? The Americans overthrew England. The Iranian Revolution, what did the clerics of Iran do? They overthrew the Shah of Iran and established the religious order that they have over there, and that's still continuing over there now. The Russian Revolution, what did the people do? They overthrew the czars. You see where I'm going with this? People have got to educate themselves and stop falling for these new trends, these TikTok trends, these Instagram and OnlyFans trends and Instagram trends, and no one cares about that. When the world is on fire, no one cares to see you doing a TikTok dance. Okay? No one's going to care. When you are starving with no food in your pantry and your lights are off, what are you going to do? Or am I going to sit there? Or I'm going to make a TikTok video and I'm going to dance and I hope that I get some likes. No. Most people, I tell people this all the time. And people are like, yeah, Q, you're very smart. You're highly intelligent. I was like, yeah. You want to know why? It's because I use my head for more than just a hat rack. You know what I'm saying? People don't know how to think any longer. They don't think anymore. They think that everything is a joke. They think that everything is a trend. They care more about likes than they care about humanity. That's all. Yeah, they're gonna go out to, you're right. They're gonna use a survival book off of TikTok that they got from Temu.
There go Jude. Hey, Judy.
What up, Jude? Yeah, that's what the problem is. People don't know how to think anymore. And going back to what you said earlier, Coco, they can't count money. They can't do basic math. They don't even know basic English. You know, I see these kids talk about 6'7", 6'7". What the hell is that? All right, you're 6'7". What is that? And I'm sitting there looking at the alphabet. I'm like A B C D E F. What is he talking about? I'm like E F or F F. You know what I'm saying? F G. What is he talking about? 6'7". That and I asked somebody, somebody who had a teenage son. He's like, it doesn't mean anything, Q. It doesn't mean anything. I was like, yeah, I figured it didn't. But this is what these kids are coming out here with, and then when they go apply for a job, they don't get the job. They wonder why they can't get hired because they don't know basic math, basic English, basic common sense. Going into a job interview wearing a hoodie at 90-degree weather, and you got the hood on, just zipped all the way up,
With some
and it's a
clogs.
black hoodie, huh?
With some clogs.
Right, right. Like, that's not how you dress for an interview. That is not how you dress for an interview. Well, it's a high-paid job, and I figured I'd just go any kind of way, and that's why you didn't get the job because you didn't dress for the part. You dress for the job that you want, not for the one you already have. If you have one, most people don't know those basic. I remember back in high school, home economics was a thing, shop class was a thing. They don't do that anymore. They took that out of school. Want to know why they took it out of school? To control
No,
people.
not to cut you off some, because I know my alma mater, we still got some. They are trying to do away with those vocational, or the trades,
Yeah,
but that's when the like us, the alumni and the staff, you have to fight the city or state to keep them in.
yeah, but they were pushing most schools nowadays are segmented now. It ain't like it used to be how we grew up in high school. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got along in high school because everybody was mixed in together. Now you got segments. You got the magnet schools. You got if you ain't smart like the magnet people, you go to a vocational school or you go to a specialized school that matches your intellect set, so to speak. That's where I'm going with this. They took away a lot of like shop classes and stuff like that. And I'm like, home economics. They don't want you to know home economics. I'm like, well, how are these kids going to cook? Because I talked to a few females. They don't know how to cook.
Here we go.
And I was like, you don't know
Well,
how to
before
cook.
we get into that, can I give my thoughts real quick? Because I see where you're going.
Oh, you ready to go? You ready to go?
But before you go, Coco, before you go, Carl, it's something I want to say. We gotta give people a pass on the damn English because we got the most bastardized language in the damn world.
That's
What
true.
other country? What other country has a word that has four different meanings and you spell it the same, but it's a different damn word?
Yeah.
And no wonder kids so damn confused. Like, okay, tell somebody to lead you somewhere. Okay, well, tell somebody you need a piece of lead. Okay, so what? I mean, what you want me to lead you, or you want some lead? What I mean, what is you using the same word, but it's different meanings? I mean, we got the most bastardized language in the world. That's all I want to get in there.
Hmm. But it's also in the context in which that
Yeah.
word is used.
I think it's
Okay.
also culture because a lot of culture meaning by state. Like lingo here in Baltimore is different from lingo where Paul is in Asheville and where you are in Atlanta. Even in being in Baltimore, I can be over west, but something may be different from west to east. But you get what I mean? Like, so I really think it's all about we do a lot of broken English, just like other cultures do have broken languages where they have slang. We just don't know because we don't speak it. But I think that's part of the problem where certain things can mean different things depending on where you from and the culture of your state, city, or community that you live in. But Richie Hicks Jr. Hey, bro. He said English is the toughest language to learn, and I've heard that too from like working in diverse like environments. But to summarize and give my thoughts for tonight, I think when it comes to what's going on as far as the war, what's going on as far as technology, what's going on as far as our economy, what I really think is I agree with all of you. I think y'all got had some really good points, valid points. Educating ourselves and being aware is one. Awareness is the best form of education. Is to really stop thinking that it won't happen to you. We have an ignorant way of thinking, and that's not to be insulting because ignorance is just a matter of not knowing. And when you don't know, your decision, your critical thinking and your decision making sucks. So I strongly encourage everyone to just educate yourself on what's going on, why it's going on, how it's going to affect you, your family. And I think a lot of us have this ignorant way of thinking, like, oh, it's not going to affect me. Oh, everything is propaganda. We think everything is so American. Oh, it's not going to happen to me, or it's not going to happen to us, or because certain things may blow over and come back, and then you may get what you need temporarily. But we really don't understand the full dynamic. So even like when Q was saying, okay, you go to your YouTube shows, but I think using platforms like TikTok, YouTube, even down to the news or different stations, however you can get it and you can receive it, do some extensive research and educate yourself on that. I think as a community, we also need to spread that, like having conversations like this, making people aware. If you don't believe it, look it up. Get your own understanding so that you know what's going on and how to prepare. I think the biggest issue is that our community, if going back to what Jay said, the African American community, we have the least knowledge because we don't believe shit stinks. I think we're becoming more knowledgeable today because more people we're paying attention because more is in our face and we keep seeing it in this flattened timelines and when you go online you see it, so you have no choice but to look at it, but to actually receive it and understand what's going on. I think that's something that we need to do, and we need to hold each other accountable with in our own communities, even in our own families, of what's going on. Like I have older family members that call me, do you know what's going on? Do you know how this is going to affect you? If you don't, let me tell you so you can get yourself together. We are unprepared for whatever may happen. Um, and then the other piece that I was going back to was um, down to the draft. We all talked about the draft. It's been public. There's been a low military recruit or people wanting to join the military. And I actually had this conversation with a male friend of mine. I'm like, they're gonna start drafting because this thing is not going to end soon. And if we're really going into World War III, they're going to draft, whether you like it or not. Oh, they ain't gonna do that shit. That's the ignorance I'm talking about. They're not thinking that it's going to happen, but instead, if it does, prepare. Or it could be, like you said, it could be your family member, your friend, even if you may exceed the requirements or eligibility to be drafted, your son can go, your uncle, your cousin, your homeboy. Those are things that we need to do, and we have to be able to support each other, support other families, and do certain things. I agree. Instead of us tearing each other down, killing ourselves, we need to get back to community and looking out for each other. It's not taking care of somebody, but just you good, you straight. This is what we need during these times because other cultures are doing it and they're networking and they're working together and not against each other. And I think that's the biggest issue that we have is to get back to that and not thinking nothing can happen to us. So I think going back to when we said we doing the dances and stuff like that, part of me can appreciate that. Why? Because I think we come into a clear understanding of we've been here before through certain stuff. So we know what we're going to do or what's going to happen. We like how we're stepping up and not taking on everybody else's problems, whereas though we ruin our own communities. So I do like that. I just want us to do better at educating ourselves, educating our children, and just preparing, really honestly and truthfully, preparing for the worst. Since since that person took office, like I said, it ain't even been a year yet. get prepared, because it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse, as we can see. So we really got to prepare ourselves for the worst. Prepare yourself for job loss. Prepare yourself for probably no food. And another thing, going into the vocational thing and the trade thing, shout out to Ham Radio, made a good thing behind the scenes. We need to worry about our food. So something that I think we need to do is learn your environment. What can you use, or how you can survive with what's in your environment? Because a lot of us don't even know what's edible, what's not edible, what soil, what can we grow, how can we grow our own food, fruits and vegetables, just in case something happens. Because
I mean, cut you, but we had, speaking of that, we had a few, I didn't mean cut you, but we had a few community gardens around here close to the public housing developments. We had one out in Pittsburgh, but they got rid of that and just let the grass grow back and everything. But see, that's something we, like you said, we really need to get back into growing our own food and all that stuff. We need to get back into that because the stuff that they are selling us, I'm scared to eat. I'm really scared to eat any kind of meats nowadays. I'm telling you, I really am. I tried some chicken the other day. It just didn't taste like chicken. I said, what the heck is this? And then people talk about they don't want to wash it, but you gotta wash this meat because they not expecting this meat like they used to. Since Trump been in there in that office, since he been back in that office, he knocked down the regulations for the FDA to do such and such and all that stuff. They make. Do y'all notice how many food recalls we have all the time?
Hold on,
It's like every doggone day it's a food recall.
hold on,
Yeah,
they
but
closed the FDA now?
yeah, but you know what?
No, they
With
didn't close
the
down,
with
but they ain't really doing no. They ain't really
with,
doing no inspection.
with the
Go ahead.
invention of the 3D printer, you can actually print meat and sell it legally. That's where that's probably why a lot of your meat doesn't look like actual meat or taste like actual meat, because it may have been 3D printed. Because yeah, there in certain uh food groups there is a shortage. So what do they do to supplant the shortage? 3D printers. Hey, I can print a corn on the cob and make it look like a regular corn on the cob, and then sell it on the market. And people will buy it and they eat it. And I already made my profit. I don't care what happens to the person that's eating it.
Yeah.
You can, I mean, because you can 3D print drugs. You can 3D print guns. You can 3D print anything you want now. The meats, like even at Walmart, I noticed. I went to Walmart one day just to go grab some knickknacks, like some chips or something like that, and Tic Tacs. I love Tic Tacs. I'm a Tic Tac head. These are my go-to. Tic Tacs are my go-to. So I go back in the meat section. I'm like, this meat looks like it's 3D printed because of how the striping is, how the grain is cut. I'm like, this meat don't look right. This meat looks fake. And it was fake. Look at ground beef and all that. I'm like, that don't even look like ground beef.
Because it looked like
yeah, it didn't even feel like ground beef.
Mm-hmm.
So we're being slowly poisoned, and people are like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. We got to survive. We got to eat. No, what's going to happen is, and I revert back to this movie all the time, don't I? Soylent Green. I revert back to this movie. What's going to happen is, when people start dying off, what are they going to do when there's no food? They're going to turn human people into food. They're doing it now.
Yeah.
Because there's
about killing all the deer in the park. They're going to close off the park, right? Maybe like Drew Hill, and I think it's, what is it, Patterson? Correct me if I'm wrong, JB. They're going to close off the park.
You're right.
And kill the deer. So the first thing we thinking, they about to feed us dead because they said it's a shortage on meats and all of this other stuff. But
Mhm.
they're already starting to do that. And whoever eat that meat, I don't know, because what they be eating
They
on them
meat
park.
good though. They said.
Not the
Yeah,
dead meat at
venison.
all.
Venison good.
You
Yeah,
know what
I've
that
had
meat
yeah,
is, all of that
yeah,
stuff.
I've
I
had
ain't
deer.
had it. Can I read this one comment real quick? I think it was good. My brother Richard Hicks Jr. He said, this war is a distraction. Anyone that will purposely undo a peace treaty that the previous regime, did I say that right? Because I was gonna say
Hmm.
right, that the previous regime agreed to is on some other shh. Since the beginning of time, we keep fighting other people's wars. In my opinion, have a good night, everyone. He is so professional. See how he did that? I like that. But he ain't never lied though.
But
He ain't never
here's why.
treated we did.
Here's why we do that. Here's why we do that. Here's why we fight other people's wars. Shout out to Richie. Here's why we do that. War's big business. That's how
Mhm.
America. That's how America makes money. It's through war. Because war brings what? You destabilize a country. That way you can rebuild the country. They have to pay you to get their stuff rebuilt, to get their infrastructure rebuilt. And plus, you can establish the winning country usually establishes a puppet government so that they can control that country. You see what I'm saying? It always happens. That's what happened. That's what happened in World War II with Germany. That's what happened in Japan during World War II. And that's how Europe got broken up into various countries like Slovakia, Czechoslovakia, Austria was broken up. Germany was broken up because Germany was a big empire at one point.
Mhm. Okay. Well, with that being said, because we're coming to an end, we're coming to a close. I thought this was good. I appreciate everyone who came in, showed us some love in our comment section. Shout out to Facebook, YouTube, and whoever else shared it, wherever y'all shared it to. Shout out to Daytrick for still showing us up, even though his family is going through a tough time right now. So we want to keep them in our prayers. My brother Richard Hicks Jr. stopped in, showed us some love. J Bear even joined us up on a panel, and he was in the chat doing both, so he was just like being double. Shout out to you, who we missed you up here tonight, Sissy Pooh, but she's being a Pisces, doing her Pisces thing. The Pisces are Pisceing for Pisces season. So yeah, shout out to her. Got definitely link up with her soon. Well, shout out to Douglas Logan. He came through. What was his name? It was somebody else. Oh, Blaze. And I'm probably missing a couple of other people. I saw y'all, even though y'all didn't comment. But we thank you. We love y'all. We will definitely. We are back on track, back to our regularly scheduled program. Monday, there is a new time. Monday at 8 p.m. We will be back on Monday for Monday chat. What we're going to talk about, we don't know. But it's going to be good. It's going to be juicy. Plus, we got Q back for Mondays and Wednesdays. So we're going to enjoy this with the shenanigans. Um, oh, I hope you feel better. You always in my prayers. I'm always a phone call away. J Bear, thank you again for coming up. But check us out Monday at 8 p.m., Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Um, thank you, Ham Radio, for being the man behind the scenes tonight. And I think that's all I got. I ain't got no more. So we will see you guys Monday. Thank you for tuning in.